Shalom, Israel. What's good, y'all? I'm your host, Atlas, and I would once again like to stand before y'all, warlords and princesses, and humbly thank you for exceeding my expectations once more. For you see, Israel, in our last video, I discussed all the things that I liked and disliked about Gutane's YouTube series titled Terrible Mouse. And on said video, you guys pushed up the view count up to 440 views by the time of this recording. It's probably more, it may be less. Point of the matter is, we at Tusk Studios want to humbly once again thank you for blowing out the previous view counts of our previous long videos. I'm talking about the videos like Sonic Burnout or our Speed Paint videos, which we still appreciate y'all for all the views that we have gotten there, but this video has been one of our biggest hits so far, and we at Tusk Studios are glad that you see something within this channel that makes you want to come back, makes you like it. We hope that you like, comment, and subscribe. And we also hope that you check out our Tumblr and Wattpad pages where we'll be posting things like small-time stories or artwork. And we really hope to see more of you guys, because at the end of the day, a content creator means nothing without the fans viewing their content. So with the well-deserved thank yous out of the way, it is time for us to get to the main point of this video. Now, this video will also be discussing Terrible Mouse, but unlike the previous video where we discussed actual episodes and the bad things that I saw within said episodes, this video will instead be discussing the community post that Gutane has sent out dealing with Terrible Mouse that talks about deeper aspects of Terrible Mouse within its story, like explaining what organization Lorna works for, why on earth is Dam made out of nothing but slime, why on earth is this hospital like just sitting out in the middle of the nowhere, where is this hospital sitting, how far is the nearest human village or city, etc, etc, etc. I'll be breaking them down from first post to last post based on what I've seen, and I'll be giving you guys my honest opinion on each and every single post. So with that out of the way, go grab you some Lay's sweet and sour chips. Do Lay's even have sweet and sour? Lay's sweet and sour chips. I mean, like, they're barbecue, you know? Like, get you some Lay's barbecue chips. Maybe get you a Subway Outlaw sandwich, you know, foot long. And let's get into the video. Oh yeah, and disclaimer, we will be talking about a very gory adult series. I don't believe that we're going to be talking about like way out-of-pocket topics in this video as we were in the previous video, but you know, just small disclaimer just in case. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's get popping. So the first post I'd like to bring attention to is the post describing Lorna, you know, a small introduction to the character. The post goes as follows. The mutated lab mouse that escaped from the laboratory is a hybrid of a cat and a mouse. One day, a fire broke out in the lab, and she luckily survived the blaze. The lab technicians left a deep psychological scar on her. Every day, many lab mice were sacrificed for experiments which made her despise humans and decide to take revenge. She chose to torment human infants to express her discontent. However, she is very friendly towards small animals. Now, this is an explanation of Lorna, and before I continue, I'd like to let everyone know that Gutane isn't an English speaker. Like, they aren't naturally speaking English. Most of the posts that they send within English are translated probably using some sort of Google Translate, so there will be, like, certain errors within the text, like, which you might have picked on in this one. Now, let me just talk about like Lorna's introduction for a little bit. As I expressed in the previous video, I really don't find the reasoning of Lorna to be sound. She hates humans because of what they did to her, which means she'd probably hate doctors, scientists, those that work in a chemical lab, right? Because of what they did to her. So it kind of doesn't make sense to me why on earth she's going for like seemingly innocent children. And if she's going to go for children, at the very least go for the children that of the people that did this to you. It kind of feels weird that you're only going after the children, like random children, random orphans, random children people won't miss. And don't get me wrong, as I expressed in my previous video, it's pretty clear that the mice or experiments within here eat the humans. Like they use them as a certain food. But I don't know if that's because they just eat humans, or they just do that for fun. Like after torturing them, it's like, okay, let's dine on kid meat or whatever. Again, this explanation still doesn't like justify the things that I explained in the previous video of what she actually does to these children. Like that's still not explained within this introduction. This introduction actually leaves me with slightly more questions than answers, but let's go on to the next post. The next post I'd like to focus on is on our favorite little slime boy, Damn. Now, his post, before I get into any of his like introduction, I'd like to note that on the little icon at the bottom, they list his age, and his age is 16. Now again, I pointed out the things that Lorna did to him in episode 3. His age is 16, and he is considered to be one of the oldest characters that we have seen throughout the first 3 episodes. Just to keep that in mind for anybody that's watched my previous video. Anyway, let's get to the introduction. Damn. A deceased human combined with a position. A deceased human combined with a potion has lost his memories from his lifetime, but he still possesses human emotions, which makes him sympathetic towards humans. The slime, still retaining human characteristics, is not well liked by the animals in the hospital, and is often bullied and exploited for his labor. Over time, he can no longer tolerate the mistreatment. Moreover, witnessing the rat's abuse of children makes him even more disgusted with this place, and so begins to rebel. Now wait. Bullied? Damn took down a mouse early on in his very first introduction, seconds after he was introduced. Then he proceeded to take down Lorna very, very easily. The only way these mice could defeat him was literally with a water hose. And even then, the only thing that could actually hurt him was fire, which they didn't have at the time. So how on earth were they bullying him the whole time? Like, how? What? Were they putting hot coals on him? Because I always wondered how on earth did Lorna know his weakness. I guess we now know. I guess that's the excuse that Lieutenant just decided to put. Hey, they bullied him. That's why he decided not to help that kid that got her head eaten off. That's why he decided to not help Luke as he was getting hit with the Mambo Combo Chun-Li special. That's why he's such a wimp. Man, get this out my face, bro. This nigga is like 16. He should not be this sorry, bro. I do not care if he is a child. This is useless behavior. And it does not make sense. But right, let's get to a point. We're here to talk about many posts, so I can't really settle on one. The next post in question is like a slew of 5 posts that kind of explain all of the creatures within the hospital. And the post goes like this. This hospital takes in all animals who have suffered misfortune, abuse, or are homeless. The hospital has become their home. The small animals all have one thing in common. They dislike humans. Now this post is talking about the blue sniper cat from episode 2. For example, this little blue cat, its mother gave birth to 5 kittens, and a child killed 4 of them, with only him surviving. And here's like an image of the kid as he's brutally mauling like the other kittens, which, why? But, terrible kid, okay, continue. Upon learning about this, Lorna felt a deep sense of empathy and therefore decided to take in the small animals. Okay, that explains Lorna's position to the animals. That also explains why they were so ready and willing to help her against Damn. Okay. Alright, so the next post is about... Oh my god, bro. It's about Robbie. Now, as I said in my previous video, bro, all real Israelites hate Robbie, bro. This bro is the most useless, like, character I've ever seen in, like, any project ever. I don't care if it's a YouTube indie project, I don't care if it's like a big name project. This bro right here is useless. In the famous words of Coelho, I believe that's how you say his YouTube name. Shout out to him. Now, I guess I'll read his introduction. Robbie is afraid of crowds. As a child, he was often ridiculed by his peers for being like a girl, which made him timid, cowardly, and lacking in confidence. He tends to get nervous when encountering bad situations. Although he is not popular amongst boys, he is very popular with girls because of his considerate nature. So basically, he's a wimp, an absolute loser, a soy boy. Has not a single masculine bone in his body. Okay, no wonder I didn't like him. No wonder I didn't like Robbie. No wonder. Up next is my boy Luke. Okay, here's his introduction. Luke was part of a group of bullies at school. See, now you immediately lost me. Now Luke gotta be a bad guy. Now Luke gotta be a bully just because he's a little tough, just because he's a little masculine. The wimp gotta be the considerate one, and Luke gotta be the bully. Of course. I'm starting to see an agenda, but you know I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say no. Continue on. One day, the group accidentally killed a student. It gets worse. I was sitting here thinking it's not gonna get worse. It literally got worse in the very next sentence. They framed Luke for the crime, betraying him and sacrificing him to escape responsibility. From that day on, he became independent, cold, and stopped trusting anyone. Okay, that's an interesting concept for the character Luke. You know, not every person within this series has to be a good person. That's kind of why Danganronpa is such a great series. That's why a lot of people like that series, because although all these kids are trying to survive, not every single kid trying to survive was a good person. You know, there's like the ultimate yakuza sitting right there in the group for Danganronpa 2. So you know, like I completely understand where Gutane's going with this, only a little bit, because for Luke to be like this, it just feels off. It feels uncharacteristically villainous. I mean, but don't get me wrong, survivability comes to all people, you know, like everybody's gonna want to survive. So, you know, him reaching out to Robbie, all real Israelites hate Robbie, to try and help him when he was taking out Lorna. Okay, that's just him trying to survive. That doesn't exactly mean that he trusted Robbie. Fine, moving on. Okay, so up next we have like two new experiments that are supposed to be released in episode 4, and they're called Lema and Leilu. Lema and Leilu. I guess they're like, what, sisters or whatever? Well. So here's Lema. The fusion of a cat and a rabbit. See, I'm starting to see a trend with you, Butane. It seems like almost every one of your experiment characters is fused with a cat. Is that just your way of making an excuse as to why they have like cat slant eyes? And like cat-like claws and stuff. Is that just kind of your excuse because you don't want to put more variety into these characters' builds? Is that what it is? Come on, bro. Let's talk about it. Because it don't really seem like you putting that much variety in these niggas when it comes to what they're fused with. Like, she could have been a rabbit and a crocodile. She could have been a rabbit and a roach, for all we know. It could have been anything. But they said, nah, let's fuse it with a cat. Because that's one of the most powerful creatures in existence. Okay. Continue on. The fusion of a cat and a rabbit was subjected to an experiment during which venom entered its body and merged with its blood. She became immune to the venom and her skin turned purple as a result. Rema is a member of the hospital, but she strongly dislikes Lorna. Consequently, Rema oftenly belittles Lorna behind her back, spreads rumors, and speaks ill of her. This stems from Lorna's excellent work performance and her harmonious interactions with other male mice, which makes Rema extremely envious. Sometimes Rema tries to upset Lorna by poking at her sore spots in an attempt to her. I'm pretty sure that Gutane meant hurt her, so I'm just gonna put that there. An attempt to hurt her. However, Lorna cannot fight back physically since they are both members of the hospital. Personality, selfish and cunning, blah blah blah, height 172, age 26. Mind you, I believe I left this out, but I believe Lorna's like 25, which, again, just to put context into what Lorna did in the past 3 episodes, but not here nor there. Up next is Leilu. She doesn't really have that much for hers, but basically it says a mutated white rabbit immune to toxins is a hospital member. She stays with her sister Rema daily, dislikes Lorna, and has a sharp tongue. Yet she's gentle with Rema, always trying to cheer her up. Personality forthright and protective. She hates sticky things. Height 172, weight 54 kilograms, age 25. Oh, okay, whatever. So introduce these characters, and let me guess, they're gonna be like antagonists to make us feel bad for Lorna and whatnot. But I can't feel bad for Lorna. After what she did to Rolf and all them, I just can't feel bad for her, I just can't. Okay, so the very next introduction sort of page we have is for a little bit of more context for Damu. It's basically like a page just showing his character design before his death and after, saying, the death was caused by one of the animals in the hospital, meaning that he was killed within the hospital, which again confuses me because it paints the picture that Damu was super, oh, you guys are wrong for this, but only start to fight back later on, and it's like, dude, you have slime powers. How on earth are you getting bullied by anybody? It still doesn't make sense to me, and even further pushing the point that his human half, got killed by these monsters just makes it even more sort of like an eyebrow raise, but it's whatever. I still don't understand why he likes them. Also, there's another one that it says that regarding Dom, I guess Gutane must have seen like people talking about this, about Dom's age, because as I scroll up to see the next post, Gutane put the following: regarding Dom's age, I've made some changes. He is no longer 16 but 18 years old and adult. This is because I realized that his behavior and personality in the content are not something a child could achieve. 18 is more fitting for him. Also about his name, he has always been called Dam. Sometimes my translator may not be accurate and can easily make mistakes. Additionally, Dom's father is a police officer who has discovered that his son is missing and is currently searching for him. Also, in the future, there might be content created about areas outside the hospital within the city. Blah blah blah. After, here's some more stuff. After his death, he combined with slime and gained a new life. However, since he still possessed half human genes, he's not as agile as a slime. His transformation to a slime was the result of a laboratory experiment in the hospital. Dam has his father, who's a police officer. Recently, he's described that Dam is missing, and he's been searching for him. Dam is the son of a police officer. Also, Dam is a very gentle boy and doesn't like killing. Okay, that matches with what we saw in the end of the episode 3, with him not wanting to kill Lorna, even though he openly admits that what Lorna does is like terrible, disgusting, blah 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 blah. Up next is like more stuff like hinting at what's gonna happen in episode 4. We get explanation of like that doctor dude with the chainsaws on his hand. It's like Lake used to be a human, but was deceived into the rats hospital and transformed by the experiment into a monster, losing his memories as a human. Now he serves the hospital, working in the slaughterhouse, and will immediately kill any intruders he finds. He is only friendly to the staff inside the hospital, although he is ferocious when killing. He interacts with the rats and other animals in a rather clumsy and naive way. He just works hard every day without complaint, and the animals also call him Big Simpleton. Personality: simple-minded, brutal, clumsy. Weapons: saw blades, steel, blah blah blah, 30 years old. Okay, he works in the slaughterhouse, which I don't understand. If he's a simpleton, if he's kind of retarded, why on earth would you put him in charge of something that needs to be precise? Like, say they're cutting up all the meat and stuff and delivering it to other facilities, considering the fact that this organization may have other facilities. Why on earth are you putting this very important job to a simpleton? His nickname amongst all the animals and our workers in the place is Simpleton. He is retarded. He shouldn't be put in charge of nothing. But whatever. it shows an image of this one dude, no name. So I'm guessing this is the mysterious figure they talked about in like the other explanations. Uh, he is the owner of the hospital and also a tragic figure who was trafficked on the dark web and suffered torment. He was injected with melanin, causing his skin to turn black. Now he's extremely cold and ruthless personality, but his mood slightly eases when he is with Lorna. Uh, Okay, this gotta be racist. No, 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 no. This is even a joke. This has to be racist because when I said that his skin turned black, as you can very clearly see on the image, it's not like how an actual black person's skin looks, brown, right, melanated. No, this bro's skin looks like charcoal. It is actually the color black, and why? Why? Why is that the explanation for his skin color? You could have said, oh, due to experimentation, his skin became black and tarry, almost like leather. You could have said something like that, but no, melanation. Cool, that's why he looks like a burnt Ing Eisen from Bleach. Okay, cool, 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 cool. So not only does Gute try to push like pedophilic pedophile concepts onto his series, but he also is a raging racist. I mean, what did I expect from someone from China? But at least thought that Gute would have some bit of class. But what did I expect? I said all of this in the previous video reviewing this nigga. Like, it's whatever. But whatever, right? Whatever. Ha 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 ha. Funny, funny Gutane. Whatever. Next post is showing that steps leading into the facility, saying that unknown adult has found their way into the hospital. So finally we will be seeing someone grown actually handling these monsters. And hopefully he's not sorry. Hopefully he's not an adult that's just added into one episode to give us hope that these niggas can actually fight back, only to then die. Like, only to then get immediately packed up. I really, really hope that that's not the case, but it's whatever. Then we see like a post of like Lorna getting attacked by the other two that don't like her. It says they are envious of Lorna's friendly relationship with other males and her excellent performance in tasks, which is why they dislike Lorna. Which, cope, I guess. I mean, no nigga wants you. Nobody wants to touch you. You dirty. Why you hate on Lorna for that? I mean, hate on Lorna for literally any other reason, but that specifically? That's what y'all hate on. Bro, just do better. Stop being jealous. Improve yourself. And trust me, niggas will notice. Niggas will try to approach you. And this isn't just for them. This is for all the Israelite women, or all the people listening to this. Like, people will approach you if you improve upon yourself. You don't have to change yourself for nobody, per se, right? But what I'm saying is take better care of yourself. Clean yourself. Dress better. Care more about how you look, like how you talk, Like, don't get me wrong, there are individuals that can't really change the way they talk, like have a certain stutter or a certain lisp. That's not something you can control. But I'm saying you speak with a level of confidence. It doesn't matter if you stutter, speak like that stutter is just you, Make it crispy, add a little bit of you to your flavor. Walk like you own the place, because at the end of the day, you are the only you that you should be caring about. You feel me? So, okay, I'm running on a tangent. I just want to get off this nigga because, this bro, every time I see him, like, the next post is about this mysterious figure again and about his organization, and I hate him. Moment I realized that the reason why his skin looks like that is because they inserted melanin into this bro, I hate him. I despise him. But it's whatever. He is an antisocial personality. Guten doesn't know English at school. He would bring people from the outside to this hospital through trafficking, deception, and abduction. Some of them are also from orphanages. Wait. Let me get this straight. He is angry because people trafficked and kidnapped him. And he hates humanity, so much so that he's willing, at the very least, enough to where he's willing to let Lorna and these mice do these unholy things to children, right? So how does he build his army? He captures and traffics them. How is anybody loyal to this goofball? Like, how do you garner respect when most of the people here aren't even here by choice. Nobody wants to be here. Like take Joker for example. As crazy, as loony, and as terrible as he is, the reason why people stick with him is because at the very least, when he does a job, if it ain't for Batman, that mug gonna succeed. The cops are afraid of him. Nobody wanna deal with him. Nobody. Black Mask, right? As much as I don't really want to talk about Black Mask, cause like, I'm with Red Hood all day. He should murk that boy, but it's whatever. It's whatever, right? Black Mask, he's like a kingpin in Gotham, one of the richest men ever. The people that work under him, although they may not be getting treated the best, they work under him by choice. That's what builds loyalty, and it doesn't make sense as to why he would do something like this, especially based on the backstory you showed us. But it's whatever. More things about my boy Lake. Lake was once a human too. Bro. So apparently he got experimented on because he opposed his boss's ideas of killing humans, so they turned him into an obedient slave. Okay, cool. Okay, so the very last post that gives us any information, it shows like Lake and Dam again, and it says the humans who have undergone the experiment will be granted new life and abilities, but at the same time their memories from their previous lives will be erased. Okay, cool, that explains a little bit about Dom's story, but the point of the matter is that it still doesn't explain why he's cowardly to these mice. Like, that, don't get me wrong, I understand that this is more of an explanation as to why these human creatures are slightly indifferent to that of the suffering of humans, as if they act as if they're two different species, but it bothers me that someone as strong as them is as cowardly or as, like, timid or undeciding as him. It doesn't make sense in my personal opinion. But of course, you could say, oh, this entire series is filled with cowardly people, right? Whatever. I also gotta point out this one image, right? Which is a post from Gutane that says part 4, 50% complete, I guess. And what I'm seeing is that Lorna is struggling in ropes and seems to have an object of sorts, probably a knife or something, embedded in her feet. And one of the bunny girls, I'm going to assume that's like the the purple rabbit one, Lama, right, Lama, uh, Lama, is doing something to Lorna. But the thing about that is that Lorna doesn't attack these girls because they're part of the hospital, but this image implies that they are open to attack her, which again seems like a very big plot hole. Like, if they're open to attack her, why on earth is she holding back? Wouldn't she just go like, you know what, screw you two, I'm about to put the paws on y'all? Like, it doesn't make sense to me as to why they're so confident and happy with torturing Lorna when Lorna isn't willing to fight back, even though I have seen Lorna constantly fight back against people who have tried their best to hurt her. It doesn't make sense. And with that, we are at the end of the post, so here's like my final review of it. You know, my final review. This is the last time I'm gonna be talking about Terrible Mouse until like episode 4 comes out, and that's look, man, I understand you want to make characters that are edgy or cool, but like, I feel like Luke's backstory was a little weird. I definitely do not like the mystery nigga. I do not like the owner of the organization, which, by the way, I think I might have skipped it on accident, but apparently the organization is called Bloodbath, the organization that created the hospital that they're stuck in. It's called Bloodbath. And the leader of Bloodbath, I hate him. I don't really like how you added that little tidbit of information in, that the reason why his skin is like charcoal black is because they fused melanin in him, because it doesn't make any sense. What on God's green earth would be their reason for doing that? Like, okay, fusing Lorna with a cat and human genes creates a very vicious monster. Okay, we understand her. We understand Lama. We understand Leilu. We understand why they were infused with that by the experiments. We understand why Lake was given saw hands. We understand a little bit about why Dam was given slime powers, but we don't understand. I don't understand why he was given melanation and why he started looking like that. I also don't like the fact that, again, there seems to be this like fetishy, almost lustful concept added to the murder of these children. And another thing is that when I'm looking at this stuff, it feels almost as if he changed the age for Dom just because he was being called out about the pedophilic claims, you know? Like, just, I don't feel like it's because, oh, his personality and his strength didn't fit the age gap. No, no, you just want sexy scenes with Dom and all these females, but you didn't want Dom to be called, but you didn't want the females to be called as pedophiles, as PDF files, so you decided, you know what? Let's make them 18, yo. That fixes all our problems. Well, Israel, with that, this video comes to a close. I once again want to thank you all for the views that you gave our last video. We at Touch Studios really hope that you continue to support us and come down and give us your own thoughts and opinions on, you know, the series and concepts that we give out to you. You know, we like to hear more and more from the people actually viewing our series. Don't be shy to come reach out to us via comments or stuff, and we'll be more than happy to try and our best to respond to whatever you guys want to say. Anyway, that's all. I'm your host, Atlas. This video is going on too long. Shalom.